What's going on, everybody? My name is John Serwin, and this is my kitchen. Welcome. Today, I'm going to show you how I made this homemade pasta carbonara or spaghetti carbonara. There's eggs, cheese, bacon, bacon fat, pasta, pasta water. We'll show you the techniques and how it's done. Stay tuned. All right, in order to make our pasta carbonara, guanciale is the traditional way to go for the meat, but you know what? In Chicago here, I'm sure I could find it, but you know what is super readily available? Some high quality bacon. So we're gonna go in with a half a pound of bacon, just kind of cut this up into little strips here, and we are gonna render down all of the bacon fat. I figure every time I've made this, I honestly have never made it with guanciale. I've always done it with bacon, and I mean, when they say bacon makes everything better, they're kind of onto something. Except for, here's a hot take, and I don't know how many people will agree with me on this. I am not a fan of bacon on my burger. I love bacon, but not a massive fan of it on a burger. All right, that little side note. So I'm gonna take that bacon, put it into our pan, cold pan here, and get it started over on the stove. So this carbonara recipe couldn't be simpler. It's all technique, I would say. So here in this bowl, I have 3 whole eggs, to which I am going to start breaking up. Oh, and 2 egg yolks. We'll start whisking it up. And what I'm going to do is add in, right here, I have 3 ounces of parmigiano reggiano, which is actually the good stuff from Italy. I always thought when people were saying that, it was just like, oh, they're being fancy. No, there's a difference. Like, actual parmigiano reggiano is the stuff from Italy. That stuff that says Parmesan is made in America. Not saying it's bad, but to do this, we want the real stuff. I just used a microplane on it, and I'm just going to add a little bit of cheese as I go. So this is 3 ounces or 85 grams total Parmigiano Reggiano. Sorry if I sound like a weirdo saying that, but it's legit the name. So we're gonna get all this cheese incorporated in. We also have 3 ounces or 85 grams of pecorino romano, which gives it, these 2 different types of cheeses give it a nice different little tang to it. So in goes all the Parmesan, mix it all up. Because all of this sauce is really just the bacon fat, the eggs, and the cheese, and the pasta water. That's pretty much it. And then we're going to start incorporating the Romano, the pecorino Romano. I microplaned this cheese, which this is what I mean by microplane. I microplaned it so it would dissolve in the egg yolk. Oh, well, all that went in, so let's see. Hopefully it'll incorporate itself fine. The only thing I am going to do is add a little bit of black pepper to it right now. My automatic pepper grinder, which is pretty sweet. I'm in the market for a nice heavy-duty hand one. But this is nice because, hey, my other hand's free. All right, gonna incorporate the rest of this right now, and I'll show you the technique of what we're gonna do to make the pasta carbonara. Over at the stovetop here, I do have my water boiling, well, getting to a boil. I did not, I repeat, did not salt this water because there are so many salty aspects between the bacon and the cheeses that I want to be able to control the salt. So if I need to add salt at the end, I will. But this is just straight water, nothing else added into it, that we are going to boil our pasta in once it's ready. Over at the other burner here, we're going to go ahead and get that cold pan of bacon, throw it on medium heat, and start rendering that down. Just going to grab a nice pair of tongs, and this will start rendering down. Probably take about 10 minutes. All right, we're about 4 or 5 minutes in, and you can see the fat is getting rendered here. Let me see if you can see that pretty good, but yeah, they're starting to fry in its own fat. So this is where you just want to keep moving it. You're going to watch it constantly because it can go from done to overdone in no time. But this should probably take about another 2-3 minutes. All right, we are about 1 minute away from taking this out. So I am going to drop my pasta into the water over here. So I am going to use, this is the important thing right here, bronze drawn slow drying. That is quality pasta doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and drop in the full pound, get it out. Let's see if I can do that fancy twirl around technique. Almost. Hey, not bad. I got a few more in there. All right, going to go ahead and let this come up. And then over here you can see the bacon is done. Perfectly cooked right now. So I'm going to take it all out, Put it onto a little paper towel lined bowl to let it drain, and then take out some of this bacon fat and save it. But we're going to leave in about 1 tablespoon of that bacon fat. So I'm going to finish this off and we'll be right back. All right, we're going to be trying out a new shot here, folks. This is, this is exciting. So our pasta is cooking away. The whole thing is we want this to be cooked almost fully through, about a minute away from it being al dente. So we're going to keep watching it, and what we'll end up doing is taking the pasta straight out of the water and into our pan over here. What I am going to do is add some of the bacon bits back in, just about maybe 2/3 of it. I have this on super low. If I had a cast iron or an enameled cast iron, I wouldn't have any heat whatsoever, but right now I have it on super low. What I am going to do is start tempering this egg though. So I'm going to take a little bit of the pasta water. Let me see if I'm able to do this. I'm going to get it in there, and then I'm going to, we don't want to scramble the egg, so I want to get this incorporated as quickly as I can. There we go. So far, so good. This all happens pretty quickly, so I'm going to do just a little bit more. Get it incorporated in. That should be good for right now. And then we will just be waiting for this pasta to finish off, and then we'll start assembling. So I'm going to put this over here for now, move my teapot. It's not always the best spot for it, but hey, I got to figure out a good way to show you guys all this going on. Remember, we have some bacon left over here for garnish afterwards. And also, we're going to have some pecorino romano left over for garnish afterwards. I would usually do Parmesan, but guess what? I ran out. All right, things are going to be moving fast here. So what I am going to do is, once this is getting real close, actually, I think, you want it to have just a touch of chew, because we are going to be moving it vigorously in the pan. It's going to release the starch, and this is all going to make a sauce. The egg, the water, the cheese, the bacon fat. All right, so we got this. This is probably at about 260 degrees, so we are going to go ahead, lift off our pasta, get that in there. Go ahead and get a little bit more. Whoop. I'm going to turn this down to low, because we are going to keep that on. And I'm going to put in a little bit of the egg mixture right now and work it in. Put the egg mixture on top of there, but yeah, here we go. Just constantly moving it, constantly moving it. And as you can see, the creaminess that is happening with it. Ooh. And if it's getting a little too thick, you can always add some pasta water. But we are actually going to add more of the pasta. Go ahead and bring it over here. And if you're losing out on residual heat, that's why we keep this water on over here. Because if we need it to get heated up, like a Bain Marie, I could just place it right on top. All right, going to try and get the last remnants of pasta here. Put in the rest of my egg mixture. Get it all worked up, and we are going to get it ready for service. Like I said, important to keep it moving, right? Look at that. That looks fantastic. It's the right amount of heat on there still, so we're going to get it plated up. I don't know if you can see and hear that. All right, so here's a perfect example. It thickened up as I was literally changing shots for about 1 minute. So what I'm going to do is just take a ladle full of pasta water, not even half a ladle full of pasta water. Go ahead and incorporate that on in. Whenever you're serving this, always keep that pasta water off to the side, because you are going to have to keep adding more and more to keep this at the consistency that you want. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a nice, we're going to give this a little taste for seasoning, and then we will plate it up and try it out. Oh man, a little bit of salt will do it good. You hear that? I don't know if you could hear it. Here, let's see if you could hear that. All right, we're going to take it, plate her on up. And there you have it, folks. This is pasta carbonara with bacon instead of guanciale. Yeah, that's how it's done. At Firehouse, we do Prince Spaghetti night. We call it Prince Spaghetti Wednesdays, and that's usually just red sauce and sausage, meatballs. But this is a nice alternative. It's delicious and worth it to throw it in there every once in a while. Or do it as a side. Do it as a side dish to whatever else you're doing. Give it a shot. Let me know what you think. And yeah, comment below if you do try it out. Or comment if you have made it and what other techniques you try out. All right, guys. Thanks for coming by. Just want to leave you with this. Remember, you're just making food out of ingredients until you sit down and share them with the ones you love. Then it's a meal. All right, guys. Thanks for coming by. Greatly appreciate it. Till next time.